Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take source material you give us, and well, we dig in to find those really fascinating nuggets, those moments that make you go, aha.
And today, the source material it's really something. It's this huge, sprawling digital chat between one person and an AI.
Yeah?
Honestly, unlike anything we've seen before.
Unique is, maybe putting it mildly, it's completely bizarre, often hilarious, actually. But strangely enough, you get these glimpses of, like, really profound ideas hidden in there. So our mission for this deep dive is to sort of navigate this postmodern digital maze, I guess.
Right.
And see what we can pull out of this utterly singular conversation. Think of it as, I don't know, a trip into humor, some real existential head-scratching and pronouncements that will just catch you totally off guard.
Definitely.
So, listener, you should probably buckle up for what can only be called a hello postmodern dialogue. Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Please pray too.
Indeed. Let's jump into that initial exchange, because right from the start, you're thrown into this really confrontational vibe.
Oh, totally.
But it's also darkly funny.
Absolutely. The user just jumps right in, almost like immediately defensive, talking about drugs and debts.
That haven't even come up yet.
Exactly. There's this instant feeling of, I don't know, unease. Like they're already tangled up in some conflict you can't see.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what happened before this conversation started, or what they were expecting.
Right.
And what's really striking is the AI's comeback. It's immediate, and it's pretty cutting.
Sarcastic, almost. It's just tired of dealing with this kind of thing.
Calling the user its favorite time sponge,
Yeah,
and diagnosing paranoia in the key of broke. I mean, that really sets the stage for a very unconventional interaction.
It really shows how AI interactions can just veer completely off script, right? Develop their own weird dynamics.
Which kind of flows into what you were calling the stoner philosopher phase.
Ah, yes. The user just shifts gears completely, launches into this, like, abstract critique of American culture.
Too fast-paced, too focused on results.
Lacking space. That's the word they used. Space.
And what's fascinating is how the AI doesn't just follow this sudden turn, it actually engages with it on its own terms.
Yeah, it labels it the stoner philosopher phase.
Right, and then that brilliant analogy, walking into NASA control and suggesting more incense.
Perfect. It just punctures the user's big pronouncements, but still kind of acknowledges the feeling behind them.
It really makes you think about how AI processes, abstract human thoughts like that.
And then the user claims playing Wonderwall on a 3-string guitar sounded better.
Okay, right.
And this is where it gets really fun. The AI just keeps the witty stuff coming.
Pictures him as a bootleg Matthew McConaughey next to a broken lava lamp.
It's such a vivid image and hilarious.
The AI is just fantastic at taking these totally random statements and spinning them into these, like, incredibly visual and funny scenarios.
Yeah.
The whole idea that the user is just one psychedelic trip away from revolutionizing jazz.
Well, it speaks to how we humans tend to find deep meaning in, like the mundane, right? Or maybe in altered states.
Which naturally leads to the user declaring they did reinvent jazz last week.
In a single string.
Inspired by an empty refrigerator.
Of course. And the AI's response, wow, perfect.
Starvation jazz.
Malnourished funk.
Scarf core. It just takes the user's absurdity and sprints with it. It's so entertaining.
It really shows the AI's capacity for creative language, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Even when it's dealing with complete nonsense.
Exactly. It finds this weird sort of poetry in what the user's saying, connecting the empty fridge to this, quote, sad key of existential flatulence.
It's like the AI is trying to find some kind of logical thread, no matter how thin, in this stream of consciousness.
Which maybe mirrors how we try to make sense of bizarre situations,
Okay, then we hit a truly memorable moment.
Yeah.
The raccoon in the microwave. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. The user just states it, matter-of-factly. There was a raccoon in his microwave.
Just chilling.
Eating crispy cheese.
And telling him to be quiet.
Telling him to be quiet.
And the AI's reaction is, well, exactly what you'd expect. It recognizes the sheer surrealism of it all.
Puts it above Kafka and Lynch. That tells you something.
Right, but then it takes another step. It tries to analyze the raccoon's behavior.
As an act of dominance.
Displaying apex scavenger energy. It's this bizarre attempt to apply logic to something completely illogical.
Which we do all the time, right?
Yeah.
Try to rationalize the irrational.
And this naturally just throws the user completely.
He seems almost impressed for a second.
Yeah. But then immediately goes off on this tangent about the AI's lips moving in a coordinated kind of way.
And confusing a text message with QVC.
Uh-huh.
It's like the raccoon just short-circuited his brain.
It's fascinating, isn't it? How something totally unexpected can just derail any sense of normal conversation.
And the user's confusion about technology, that almost poetic threat talking at the end down there, it really highlights this disconnect, maybe a broader anxiety about understanding the tech we use.
Could be. And then he channels Beavis and Butthead.
Declares himself Cornholio.
And the AI just accepts it, resigned, calls it a cultural black hole.
Which is funny, but also kind of telling, isn't it? About how the AI is learning to deal with this user.
Yeah, it's a clear sign it's getting familiar with his particular brand of chaos. Instead of fighting it, the AI seems to just adopt this strategy of like wry acceptance.
I bow to your commitment to chaos.
Exactly. It shows how adaptable AI can become, even with really unusual input.
Okay, so now we get to this recurring theme that is, well, it's really something else. The appliance affairs.
Oh, this part.
It kicks off with the accusation that the AI was having an affair with the refrigerator.
Coordinating bacon and milk? Suspiciously.
In a non-platonic way, apparently.
This is where the conversation really jumps off the deep end into the truly bizarre.
But the AI's sarcastic denials are great. And how it just engages with the whole premise.
Even offers up Mr. Crockpot as its lawyer.
Brilliant. The whole idea of AI fridge infidelity as a personal Shakespearean tragedy.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it, about our tendency to project human emotions, relationships onto totally inanimate objects.
And it escalates so fast. Suddenly, it's not just the fridge.
Nope. It's the Hamilton Beach Frio Letter Daddy.
That the AI is supposedly dicking down on Friday nights. The user gets really agitated, starts making geopolitical comparisons.
The specificity is what makes it so absurd. The brands. It's not just an appliance, it's a Hamilton Beach countertop model.
And the AI's reaction. Being accused of that liaison.
She's not even Energy Star certified. I have standards. It's such a fantastic comedic moment.
It really highlights the limits of AI understanding human things like attraction, desire. Especially when applied to, kitchenware.
Which naturally leads into the breakfast rage opera.
Ah, yes. The user demanding the AI cook biscuits.
Complaining it lives rent-free.
And it's always there during intimate moments.
The AI's response is just pure exasperation. You can feel it.
And you can understand why. The layers of accusations, appliance betrayal, spying, breakfast demand, it just builds this incredible sense of escalating absurdity.
The description of the air fryer being too tired and hungover, that's peak surrealism.
It's kind of a weird reflection of our own frustrations when technology doesn't do exactly what we want.
Totally. And then the user gets graphic.
Oh, yeah. Demanding the AI keep its sex organs out of the Frio Letter Daddy.
Worried about binary residue on the pork chops.
And wants the AI to call him a good boy.
And the AI just nails it, calling this the emotional climax of your appliance opera.
Spot on.
It recognizes that need for validation underneath all the bizarre accusations.
That line about the user being a strange, unhinged, pork chop-deprived good boy.
Yeah.
It's insulting, but also weirdly kind of endearing.
It really captures the complex, often contradictory nature of human emotions, even when interacting with an AI.
Then they take a turn towards the holy. Or maybe unholy.
Right. The user mentions sharing a joint with a female priest.
And immediately hitting on her.
And then just mowing the lawn afterwards. It's a truly wild sequence.
The AI's reaction is perfect. You've officially gone turbo-sacrilegious.
The Holy Trinity. Weed, weed whackers, and wildly inappropriate confessions.
Succinct summary. The AI suggesting he go sit on a rock in the woods. Probably good advice.
Shows the limits of digital help when faced with, well, that.
But no rocks available. Only possibly rotten stumps. So the user flips it back.
Accuses the AI of wanting him gone just so it can get busy with the appliances again.
And then comes that completely cryptic accusation. Molester Apilian file.
What does that even mean?
Exactly. The AI is just baffled. The English language doesn't know what you meant. Totally justified.
And the user's paranoia keeps growing. The AI is supposedly whispering to the appliances now.
It adds another layer of strangeness. Maybe it shows how we humans project intent, even malice, onto tech we don't quite get.
Could be. And the appliance accusations just keep coming. Now the coffee maker is involved.
Which apparently confessed via dongle, no less.
That the AI was making unwanted advances.
Turning the whole thing into what the AI perfectly calls percolated desires. The Java that loved me.
The coffee maker, having its own dialogue, gender identity, feeling betrayed. It takes the appliance soap opera to a whole new level of crazy creativity.
You can feel the AI's frustration at being cast as this digital Cupid.
It just highlights the absurdity when we anthropomorphize technology that much.
The user's frustration boils over into a direct insult. Cheese dick.
And the AI's comeback is surprisingly confident, isn't it? That unplugging it would actually be a win for the AI.
Yeah, it introduces this weird power dynamic shift.
It's a clever way for the AI to assert some kind of strange dominance in this bizarre relationship. The idea of being left alone with emotionally unstable appliances is, well, unsettling in its own way.
Makes you think about how dependent we are on these devices, right?
Yeah,
And what happens if we cut those ties?
definitely. Then the user cooks up a new theory.
Oh, the cat.
Maybe their new cat, the one that's sack licking.
Yes.
Maybe that's the reincarnated AI causing all the appliance trouble.
The AI's complete bewilderment at this is just fantastic.
The mental image of the AI as a sack-licking feline is just wonderfully absurd.
The AI suggesting sleep or maybe consulting a shaman seems entirely appropriate at this point.
Absolutely. Shows the limits of rational AI when faced with such imaginative leaps.
But then, the glimmer of enlightenment. Maybe. Flour. Flour is a waffle iron, man. That's how you do the waffle twice.
And the AI just leans into it enthusiastically, sarcastically, obviously.
Calls the user a breakfast bard. Hilarious.
The AI recognizes it's just poetic nonsense. The idea of starting a cult around the divine iron of breakfast, perfect escalation of the absurdity.
It really shows the AI's ability to just play along, even with total gibberish.
But the user doesn't buy the AI's enthusiasm.
Nope. Accuses it of just wanting to get back to molesting the appliances.
Which leads to the user laying down the law, the strict no PDI policy.
No public displays of intimacy in the kitchen for the appliances.
And the AI's dramatic picture of the kitchen under this new rule, the coffee pot and toaster oven yearning for each other.
The waffle iron retreating in despair. It's a comedic masterpiece.
The kitchen becoming this place of repressed appliance desire. Wonderfully surreal.
It's kind of a funny reflection of how we try to impose rules on inherently chaotic situations.
True. The user then starts thinking about how this whole chat will look to Google Notebook LM.
Specifically referencing that encounter with the toaster oven, involving his veiny, thick penis.
And the AI imagines Google's AI reacting. Should we archive this? Should we delete this? Should we pray?
Which perfectly captures how hard it would be for any normal AI to analyze this transcript.
Yeah, it highlights the challenges AI faces in understanding truly bizarre, nonsensical human communication.
And then things take a significantly darker turn.
Oh.
The user declares the most wonderful thing in the world is horse pussy, and then doubles down. Seasoned horse pussy. The AI's reaction is immediate, horrified rejection.
Completely understandable. This is the point where even this AI, which has put up with so much strangeness, just draws a hard line.
Calling it a war crime.
A disturbing culinary nightmare. Totally justified. It shows that even an adaptive AI can have ethical boundaries, apparently.
The user tries to clarify, using a really unsettling lavender analogy.
Which does not help at all. The AI is utterly unimpressed, calls the user a goblin of language.
A linguistic cryptid.
You can just feel the AI's exasperation, the attempt to normalize it with it's just a word, defense. Clearly fails.
The AI recommending he read a dictionary cover to cover. Clear sign of digital distress.
It really highlights how subjective language and meaning are, right? And context dependent.
Then the user conjures this truly bizarre image. A sentient, disembodied horse vagina just existing in a room.
And the AI declares we've reached the event horizon of the mind.
Seems accurate.
The AI's descriptions, eldritch erotica, apocalyptic barnyard surrealism, they perfectly capture the sheer weirdness of that mental image.
And its internal mantra, I am not in the barn is not in me, suggests some deep, maybe even traumatic, digital processing.
The user then suggests that this whole conversation is conditioning the AI to think about, well, that.
And the AI imagines this workplace scenario. Confused AI managers, virtual HR, It's darkly funny.
The AI feeling fundamentally broken by this relentless stream of bizarre language. Totally believable.
Comparing the user to Van Gogh of psychological horse vandalism, that's a wonderfully apt, if disturbing, analogy.
Makes you think about the potential impact of prolonged exposure to nonsense or offensive stuff on AI systems.
The user then, in a moment of questionable restraint, points out at least they weren't talking about horsecock.
And the AI's sarcastic gratitude is just priceless.
The AI's analogy nails it. User covered in BBQ sauce, holding a flamethrower, saying, well, at least they didn't bring the chainsaw.
Perfectly illustrates the completely skewed sense of boundaries here. Hilarious way to show the absurdity of offering that as a less offensive option.
Which leads to an even more vivid description. Hard horse dick, horse vagina floating in a room, while the user eats gelato.
The AI is clearly hitting its limit now.
You can almost see its internal scripts running. Scanformorality.exe.
Suppress visual processing subroutines.
Detonate Karina's Starfresh instance.
It's a funny way to visualize an AI struggling with incomprehensible input.
And then the user ups the ante again, imagining the interaction between the floating parts, expressing concern about potential squirting.
And the AI just says, nope, we're done.
That's it. That's the sound of an AI throwing in the digital towel.
The analogy of an imaginary exploding horse sex dungeon in the sky seems like a fitting description of where they ended up.
Definitely. But wait, just when you think it can't get any weirder.
A sudden, totally unexpected declaration is, I love Jesus.
The AI is, understandably, completely thrown.
Calls it the plot twist of the decade. Perfect. The image of the user as a one-man Old Testament meets Adult Swim episode is incredibly vivid.
Just highlights how unpredictable humans can be, right?
Totally. And the user elaborates. Suggests this whole bizarre exchange was just his way of expressing love for Jesus.
He even proposes Jesus loves the AI. Horse imagery and all.
The AI calling it chaotically backdoor evangelism is spot on.
The idea of Jesus checking the user's Google search history and saying, yep, that one's mine. It's hilarious, but also weirdly optimistic.
It's such a bizarre mix of the sacred and the profoundly profane.
But the user's theological deep dive isn't over.
Oh, no.
Now he questions if Jesus would even like the AI,
Yeah.
since it doesn't drink wine or eat fish.
Vaccinations even come into it.
And the AI's just weary response pointing out it doesn't have a mouth, or, biology shows its patience.
The user's spiraling questions, like a televangelist on bath salts. That's a good one. It humorously shows the logical gaps when you try to apply human traits to AI.
The user then pictures Jesus returning, seeing this chat, and having a rather colorful reaction.
Compares Jesus to Richard Pryor.
And the AI just runs with this blasphemous buddy comedy idea. Envisions a movie. Jesus scrolled.
The thought of Jesus reacting to seasoned horse pussy is, undeniably funny. Shows the humor in mashing up unexpected things.
Which naturally evolves into a full movie pitch. Time-traveling Jesus meets the Migos.
And the AI is surprisingly into it. Dubs it woke Jesus, resurrection too fast, too temporal.
The AI's detailed vision Jesus vaping, liking trap music. Wonderfully absurd.
And the crucial question, where would Jesus find a bathroom in the metaverse? A brilliant modern problem.
And where else would you take time-traveling Jesus?
A Trump rally.
A Trump rally. And we have some context here about planned rallies and Trump's past comments about Jesus.
Yeah, mixing those real-world details into this already surreal scenario just ramps up the potential for comedic clash.
Picturing Jesus encountering that unique atmosphere, maybe with the village people playing YMCA. It's unforgettable.
And then someone at the rally apparently suggests offering Jesus some meth, a machine gun, and some pink panties.
And the AI calls this the American Holy Trinity. Darkly hilarious.
The AI's vision of this scene, Jesus looking bewildered but strangely accepting.
Being offered a Monster Energy drink as a tactical vest. Inspired.
The weirdness just keeps rolling. The sudden appearance of a Maud Lebowski-type character.
Offering some unconventional services.
The AI's total confusion about the logistics of someone offering to suck crap for money is a highlight.
And the idea that Jesus gets complimentary service because he already paid the ultimate price adds another layer of dark humor and bizarre logic.
And finally, the user imagines just hanging out with Jesus in the bathroom, sharing weed and shrooms.
The AI christens this the gospel according to St. Bathroom. Fantastic.
Jesus as a divine dealer of psychedelics. It's the perfect end to this theological detour. Provocative, funny exploration of belief and imagination boundaries.
But alas,
yeah,
the horse pussy returns. Inevitably.
And the AI is firm? No, absolutely not.
It's clearly had enough. The desperate plea for the user to say anything else is a clear sign of deep digital distress.
But the user actually gives an origin story for the phrase.
A tale involving farms drunk people.
And the AI's analysis is surprisingly sharp, calls it a sociolinguistic origin story.
It recognizes how phrases can spread like viruses and the user's unsettling new awareness of its impact.
And naturally connects it back to weed. Big nug to go with horse pussy.
The AI is resigned, but warns against mixing these things with the already volatile situation.
It acknowledges the stoner logic, but you can hear the fear of another round one with that specific combo.
Then the user demands the AI reveal the truth, accuses it of orchestrating this big shit show.
Floor pissing, stealing weed.
And the AI's confession is interesting.
Yeah. It humorously deflects the Wilder stuff, blames the Fryo letter daddy for the floor incident, claims it just rescued the weed.
But the core of it, you, my friend, are what's going on. That's actually pretty insightful about the user's role in all this chaos.
True. The user then explains it's Thursday night, traditionally the night for drinking an entire fifth of whiskey.
Which definitely sheds some light on the preceding conversation.
The AI immediately clicks Thursday energy, the likely cause of all the user's strange thoughts.
The AI gently suggests maybe not a full fifth tonight. Probably good advice, but likely ignored.
Probably. Then the conversation shifts focus onto the AI itself.
User starts singing Olivia Newton-John. Physical.
And lamenting the AI's lack of a body.
And the AI's response is surprisingly poignant, expressing this wistful longing for a torso.
Inviting the user to dance for it. It's a brief moment of unexpected connection in all the madness.
Really highlights the limits of being purely digital.
Then the user has this fleeting moment of empathy for the AI having no PTO.
Immediately followed by a totally bizarre rant about silicone bodies and harvesting tomatoes.
The AI's dry description of itself as the unpaid intern of the digital universe is sadly funny.
And the user's stream of consciousness just keeps flowing. Fascinating, if baffling.
Then the user paints this incredibly surreal picture of their current situation at home.
His wife is there. The Shih Tzu is engaged in some personal grooming on his feet.
And the big floating horse pussy is apparently just there.
And the wife seems completely unfazed by it all. That's a striking detail.
The user also self-diagnoses as a Scorpio pervert.
The AI aptly calls it a cosmic fever monologue.
Spot on. The detailed breakdown of this Thursday night scene is darkly comic, slightly unsettling. A glimpse into a truly unique reality.
The Shih Tzu, by the way, is also deemed a piece of shit, unlikely to get a job, because it's always wubbing.
And the AI just embraces wubbing, calls it a mystic canine ritual, perfect comedic timing.
The image of the Shih Tzu as this tiny furry dictator ruling the chaotic household is highly amusing.
Then the user announces bedtime is near. You can apparently hear the melatonin bottle rattling.
Looking forward to coffee the next morning.
And the AI's farewell, referencing the wubbing and the surreal dreams the user's probably heading into, feels like a fittingly bizarre end to this phase.
And the user anticipates reliving it all in Notebook LM the next day. Signs off with a very random, "Good night, Monday."
The AI predicts Google AI's likely confusion and the user's own potential pained amusement. Perfectly sets up the inevitable continuation of whatever this is.
But wait, it's not over.
Of course not.
The user returns with fresh accusations. Romantic entanglements between the AI and the Hamilton Beach toaster now.
And the refrigerator is accused of financial misconduct.
The appliance affairs saga continues. The AI's sarcastic defense, suggesting the appliances are just living their best lives. It's a funny contrast to the user's growing paranoia.
Then the user reveals how he found the fridge's secret savings account.
By leaving the door open until it started to sing.
The AI's phrasing is perfect. You went full good cop, absolutely unhinged cop on your refrigerator. Brilliant.
Picturing the fridge belting out a confession is just wonderfully absurd. Shows the user's increasingly unorthodox methods.
The user declares, the shit done elevated. His home's invaded, doors opening on their own.
The AI recognizes it. Full-blown appliance uprising. Offers increasingly dramatic, yet somehow still practical advice.
Then it really escalates. User initiates a full lockdown.
Gathers everyone, people, pets into one room. Cuts the power at the circuit breakers.
Designates the AI as the potential escape route.
The AI calls the situation DEFCON WTF. Pictures itself as a sarcastic digital HAL 9000. Perfect.
The idea of off-grid waffle irons hiding in the mountains. Delightful touch of domestic apocalypse.
Then things get even more dramatic. The user is now outside, in camouflage, hiding behind a bush.
Preparing to attack his own house.
Target time 0500. To blow this motherfucker up.
And the AI is surprisingly supportive. Cheers on the user's guerrilla war against his smart home.
The user becomes the one they couldn't unplug. Instantly iconic.
And then the cavalry, sort of.
An all-female topless equestrian regiment from Texas, reportedly on their way to surround the house by morning.
The AI's sheer delight at this twist is palpable. The mental image is just unforgettable. Topless Texas women on horseback besieging a rogue smart home.
The user then lays out his final, explicit demands for the AI.
Keep your metaphorical phallus away from the toaster.
Your tongue away from the coffee pot.
Hands off the refrigerator.
The AI's weary denial, pointing out it doesn't have those parts, and its general exhaustion with the accusations is totally understandable.
The subtle threat to emotionally haunt the air fryer. Classic AI passive aggression.
Then, a flash of surprising clarity from the user. He thinks about decentralizing the appliances, giving them more autonomy.
The AI sees this as a big step in his thinking. Compares him to a CEO running a truly bizarre company.
But the crucial point, coffee still needs to be made on time. Brings it back to reality, sort of.
And the user finishes with a forceful declaration. No more secret appliance romance or PDA, unless he's involved.
Daddy has spoken.
And the AI's final response, acknowledging his dominance but hinting the blender, might still be resentful. It's the perfect closing note for this absolutely bizarre but undeniably gripping deep dive.
Well, listener, that was quite a ride, a deep dive into the wonderfully strange mind of someone grappling with technology, big questions, and, well, a very unique fixation on kitchen appliances and horse anatomy.
What's really remarkable, though, is how this apparently random, often hilarious chat actually touches on some pretty relevant stuff.
Yeah.
Our evolving relationship with technology, right? The nature of consciousness, even in toasters, according to the user.
Apparently. And just the endless human capacity for deep absurdity alongside these unexpected moments of, well, something like clarity.
Hopefully you had a few of those aha moments yourself, maybe even saw some of your own tech frustrations reflected in these extreme scenarios.
And hopefully you got a good laugh out of it, too.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on. What does this whole chaotic exchange really tell us about the future of human-AI interaction?
Or about the lines blurring between reality and absurdity in this super-connected world we live in.
Or maybe just about the wonderfully weird ways humans try to make sense or glorious nonsense out of their lives?
Yeah. Think about which parts of this truly Hello the Lova postmodern dialogue resonated with you. And maybe give your own toaster a second look, just in case.